ever at Bill Handel's house. They celebrated something. I don't mean to be too mysterious, but I'm trying to entice you and entreat you to go take a look. And then you'll see what's going on over there and how he is spending his week off from the show. Well, one big story in the news has been that truck driver in Colorado who got like 110 years in prison for an accident. Brakes failed on his big rig and ended up hitting some cars, killing 4 people, injuring a lot of others, and he ended up being convicted of several dozen counts of vehicular manslaughter. And because of the way the laws work there in Colorado, the judge had no choice but to give him 10 years in prison. And this big debate has come about it's too much, and even the prosecutor is asking the judge to reconsider the sentence and to find some wiggle room in the law by finding some extraordinary circumstances so that the judge doesn't have to do all that time. But you may ask yourself, well, how did you get to the point where a guy who clearly meant no harm, his brakes failed, and is being prosecuted because he didn't handle it exactly the way the prosecutors say he should have? I mean, how do you even get to that point? Well, it turns out that he had been offered a plea deal, but he turned it down, and he went to trial. And this gentleman now knows what it's like to receive what is called in the criminal justice industry the trial penalty. And that is where, if you choose to go to trial, you very often will end up with a much higher sentence than if you had taken a deal. And people don't like it. Defense attorneys don't like it. Constitutional scholars don't like it. They say that something so important, the fundamental right to a jury trial, that you shouldn't have a system that pressures you with the threat of more and more prison time, pressures you into giving up that right. But that is the kind of system that we have, because depending on which jurisdiction you're in, anywhere from 90 to 98% of criminal cases where there's a conviction are resolved. And criminal trials, although a high-profile one will take up the news cycle, and we're still on the trials, right? Elaine Maxwell, we're on verdict watch, and Elizabeth Holmes, we're on verdict watch. But actually, the number of trials relative to the number of people convicted is very, very small. Trials are actually unusual in the criminal justice system. In fact, they're so unusual that attorneys, if they have to have a trial, this is what happens. They can't do anything else. I cannot tell you how often attorneys will say, oh, I can't even return a phone call because I'm in trial. Okay, but you have other cases, too, that are going on. I don't care. I'm in trial. They'll go to the judge and say, you know this trial that's coming up? We need to move it for a year because I have this trial that I have to do first. So even people who you would think do trials regularly, they get hammered. And part of it is because they don't do as many as you think they do. So here's the interesting thing. First of all, if you go back and look at the statements that are recorded and the writings of some of the founders of this country, you might get the impression that they never wanted there to be such a thing as plea bargaining. Obviously, they put in the Constitution you have a right to a trial by a jury of your peers. Thomas Jefferson was asked once about what if you had to give up the participation of the people in some aspect of the country? And he said that he would rather not let people have any say in the legislature than not let people have any say in the judicial branch through juries. If forced to choose, he would say, you can't vote for anything or anyone or any position, rather than saying we can't have juries anymore. John Adams wrote that, I'll quote it, by the way, this guy sounds like a real elitist, you ask me. The common people, oh, because you're so uncommonly awesome, John Adams. The common people should have as complete a control in every judgment of a court as they do in the legislature. So there's some argument to be made that if they were alive today, they would go, what the hell are you doing? Saying to somebody, if you just plead guilty and don't you have your right to a trial, we'll give you less time. Why are you coercing people to give up this constitutional right that we wanted you to have? The other thing is, why? Why do we have so much plea bargaining? Is there a really good constitutional basis for it? No. The reason that we have it is resource management. Because everybody agrees we couldn't have a trial in every case. That's why you got to try to plea bargain everything away. Because otherwise, the system would completely collapse because it would be, you'd have to be running 50 trials all at once in every courtroom. And even the Supreme Court, when looking at these issues, has basically given in and said, yeah, I guess we can't really have too many trials. We just don't have enough resources, so we have to totally allow this process whereby the government gets to lean on a person really hard to get them to plead guilty. That means offering sweet deals, and it also means in some cases severe punishments for not going along with it. I can't tell you how many times I saw a case where the government would give somebody a plea offer, they would say no, and they turn around and they file more charges. And so instead of looking at 5-year maximum, all of a sudden, just because they said no to a plea offer, now they're looking at 100 years, potentially. Now, what do you do about the problem? I don't know. You can't really do anything. We can't increase the number of judges and prosecutors, defense attorneys, courtrooms, parking lots for courthouses, juries, assembly rooms. We can't increase that by a factor of 100. So we are probably stuck with this particular situation. I think the answer is to try to go in and do a little bit of tweaking around the edges to limit, I think, maybe what you have to do. And I'm not even saying this is a good idea, by the way. I'm not saying it's a good idea. I'm saying it's an idea. Is put into place legislatively some limits on how many more charges can prosecutors file after somebody's rejected a plea deal. In other words, either put everything on the table right at the beginning, or you're limited in how much you can jack up somebody's charges just because they said no to your plea deal. Maybe that would help a little. Or not at all. Let's get a news update from Chris Little. And then, you love the cute cat videos. The cute dog is friends with a bird videos. The cute otter discovers that he loves crumpled up balls of aluminum foil to play with videos. But are all those videos helping to spread dangerous misinformation? Let's explore it. This is KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. A pipeline operated by a company in Oxnard has been ID'd as the source of an oil sheen spotted off Boca Chica State Beach. All operations have been stopped. The pioneering Harvard biologist who argued for a new vision of human nature in sociobiology and warned against the decline of ecosystems has died. Edward Wilson was 92. 2 dams have broken in northern Brazil. The disaster threatens to cause more flooding in an area that has already seen thousands of people forced to get out of their homes. We'll take a look at your drive on the 60 and the 10 next.
If you want out of your house, moving, downsizing, you have financial issues, maybe you've inherited, so you list it with a broker, and that means hours of cleaning and painting and repairing and paying big fees. So let me give you another way of doing it. You get a fair price without any of that. Buyer never walks through your house, there's never an appraisal, no commission, and you can get paid in cash within 10 days or less if you need it. That's directbuyers.com. That's the company that Janet and Matt, brother and sister, own, and I love the way they do business. They'll never lowball you. They're just honest folks. And let me tell you, a lot of schmucks in this industry, and that's not what they are. They'll give you an honest, no-obligation offer and even offer a $15,000 cash advance before closing. Go to directbuyers.com. That's directbuyers.com. Call 844-242-CELL, 844-242-CELL, directbuyers.com.
Dear Team UPS, you did it again. You did the early mornings and night shifts. You did it for your family, community, and country. You delivered everything from birthday gifts to life-saving vaccines. You delivered what matters each and every time. Thank you to every UPSer.
Chance of rain this morning, then rain this afternoon, partly cloudy tomorrow. This report brought to you by UPS. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. We've got a look at the 60 and the 10.
You bet there's pretty good reports coming up now if you just joined us. Coming away from the 57 over towards the 605, and actually both freeways going in towards the 710. Both westbound drives are in real good shape. Just be careful. The express lanes on the 10 are in fine shape as well. A couple of eastbound problems I want to warn you about. First one is the East 10 at Peck. That's right around the 605 in southbound Monty or El Monte. Just be careful going through. And then another problem east on the 60 around Garfield Finley. That's east of the 710 going towards El Hamra. So just watch those. Now we made a beeline. Came over to the 110-105. We had a report of dispatch from LA City Fire. Maybe I think it's county territory actually. But anyway, of a possible problem on the overramp. I'm looking at it now. There's a overcrossing on the north, on the 110, just south of the 105. I see fire department up there, but the freeway itself, that's fine. It's really fine. No problems at all. Again, the 105 going into LAX is looking good. LAX super busy. Be prepared. Injured in an accident. This is Superwoman, Superwire.com. Jeff Law, hey, up high in the sky.
This report is sponsored by LA Unified Adult Education.
Los Angeles Unified Adult Education offers street classes in career training, high school diploma, and English as a second language. Visit launifiedadult.org or call 213-241-3150.
Are you one of the millions of homeowners who haven't refinanced yet? If so, I'm here to tell you it's not too late. Hi, I'm Wesley Hoagland with Lennox Financial. Although the lowest rates may be in our rearview mirror, as the economy recovers from the biggest economic shock of our lifetime, rates still remain near historic lows. In fact, with the dramatic increase in home values, this may be the perfect time to put that new home equity to work. Take advantage of our cash-out refi program and pay off high-rate credit cards, car loans, or other high-interest rate debt. Or finally make those home improvements you put on hold for so long. Best of all, we can do this with no closing costs. That's right, whether it's a conventional, FHA, or VA loan, we'll pay for your title, settlement, lender, and recording fees. So call Lennox Financial at 888-455-3669. That's 888-455-3669. It's the biggest no-brainer in the history of mankind.
Licensed by the Department of Financial Protection and Innovation under the California Residential Mortgage Lending Act. NMLS number 3304. Not all loans apply. Equal housing lender. Visit us at LennoxHomeLoans.com or call for additional cost information. Other restrictions apply. Rates subject to change.
Get here today for the Ford year-end sell-a-thon and get great holiday deals like 0% for 60 months plus $2,500 bonus cash on the 2021 Ford Escape, Edge, Explorer, and a rugged Ford Ranger. And don't forget the 2021 Ford F-150. Get it with 0% for 60 months plus $2,500 bonus cash. Hurry, you don't want to miss the Ford year-end sell-a-thon.
Not all buyers qualify for Ford Credit 0% APR financing for 50 months at $1,667 per month for $1,000 finance. Example 0% down. Offers valid 12/23 through 1/3/22. See dealer for details.
The dawn of a new thrill has arrived. Yamala Resort and Casino at San Manuel. Southern California's #1 casino now offers even more for you to discover. With an all-new stunning 17-story hotel topped by the rooftop Y Lounge featuring panoramic views and sweeping vistas, a luxury spa and posh pool oasis, tempting culinary and cocktail experiences, and over 6,500 slots, the most on the West Coast. Awaken your sense of discovery. Yamala Resort and Casino at San Manuel.
You go above and beyond to protect your family. At Coit, so do we. Using advanced methods and solutions, we deep clean and disinfect your surfaces, air ducts, and more. We're here for emergency restoration too. For over 70 years, families and businesses have trusted the pros at Coit. Yours can too. Call 800-4COIT to save 35% on select services.
Contractor license 1047-781.
This is Ken Goodrich of Gettle, and I want you to save money and save your heating and cooling system. A heat pump is basically just an air conditioner running backwards. Instead of pumping cold air into the home and hot air outdoors like it does in the summer, a heat pump reverses that process during the winter. But that means your air conditioner is running round the clock 365 days a year. And with heat pumps, big, expensive problems begin as small, affordable problems that were ignored for way too long. Routine maintenance will keep your heat pump happily doing its job long after everyone else's has laid down and died. Let Ghetto rejuvenate your heat pump, and it will say thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you 24 hours a day. Just $129. No one knows heat pumps like Ghetto. G-O-E-T-T-L. It'll keep you cool, but it's hard to stop. Call right now, okay?
If holiday music turns your joy all the way up to 10, then SiriusXM is your home for the holidays. From traditional and country to pop, soul, and so much more, SiriusXM has exclusive holiday channels dedicated to the music that makes your season bright. Listen in the car on the way to the party, or in the living room as you're wrapping presents. Visit SiriusXM.com/listenholiday for how to start listening.
Our 2021 iHeartRadio Music Festival, the ultimate once-in-a-lifetime music event, is coming to the CW. The biggest superstars in music finally step back on stage. Featuring Coldplay, Billie Eilish, Dua Lipa, J. Cole, Khalid, Darius Rucker, Cheap Trick, Journey, and more. Music Festival. 14 acts, one stage, one television network.
Watch Thursday night at 8 and Saturday morning at 12:30 on KCLA 5 with CW.
If to get into a football game in the year 2029, I have to show my 12th COVID vaccine proof.
That's where we're headed, because here is Omicron.
And then who's next? Pie is next, right? I don't think I could be afraid of pie. Oh, apple or cherry? Yeah, it sounds kind of...
John and Ken, weekdays at 2.
I've expected pie.
On KFI.
KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app. He'll handle the show. He's on vacation this week. Oh, now they want to ruin all the cute animal videos. You know, we can't have anything. Can't we have one thing in life that is free from the wagging finger of, oh, but did you know? And I thought maybe it would be cute animal videos. You would think cute animal videos are one thing that would not divide us. Well, apparently here's the problem. That a lot of these cute animal videos are being posted by organizations that also spread disinformation, conspiracy theories, and other bad stuff. For example, I don't know if you saw this video. It's a woman saving a baby shark. A baby shark was stranded on the shore, and this woman steps in and saves the baby shark. But it was posted to Facebook by the New Tang Dynasty Television organization, and this place, this entity, is linked to the Epoch Times, and the Epoch Times spreads anti-China and right-wing conspiracies according to researchers. How about the video? Oh, did you see the video? The title is, I don't think I need to describe the video, I'll just tell you the title. Kitten and chick nap so sweetly together. Animals of different species napping together. Oh, yes, please. Also, kind of a fun video. I don't know if you saw this one. Why orange cats may be different from other cats. And it's these orange cats doing goofy, lovable things. Great, right? Oh, no. Why? Because they were posted by Dr. Joseph Mercola, who is an osteopath, and who researchers say is one of the main spreaders of coronavirus misinformation online. Have you ever seen those cute videos of giraffes? where they put a camera up, like, in the giraffe's face, and the giraffe is like, what's this? I want to lick it. And then it's very cute. Well, you can't enjoy that anymore either, because those are posted by a thing called Western Journal. Western Journal, being described as a right-wing publication, publishes a bunch of stuff about hydroxychloroquine. They publish stuff about that the 2020 election was stolen. But they also own a very popular Facebook page called Liftable Animals. That's where you'll see giraffes licking the camera lens. And golden retrievers doing all the cute things that golden retrievers do. So, people are saying these cute animal videos now might be a stealth gateway drug to all the disinformation. In fact, there's a company called Card Strategies that consults on misinformation, and the chief executive, Melissa Ryan, she calls this sort of thing engagement bait. If you get to a page with a cute animal video, and then there's another link right there that's about how, I don't know, hydroxychloroquine will kill COVID in your bathtub, you might click on that too, and now they got you see? And she blames the social media platforms themselves because they reward engagement over any other metric, any other measure of what you're doing on there. So this is the latest, we can't have cute animal videos anymore, but I would just like to bring up something, and that is there is a researcher at the University of Washington, Rachel Moran. Her entire thing is studying online misinformation, and she was asked by the New York Times, hey, what do you make of this? That places are using, or entities are using the cute animal videos as a gateway to get people to come in and then click on all this bad stuff. And she, who I'm going to say is an expert on this very thing, said, I don't really see how one is making the other. People still have to decide what they want to click on. So if you like cute cat videos, just because there's a link now on the same page to some completely different thing, why would you suddenly be interested in it? So maybe this is not the massive problem that some people were trying to make it. But now, every time you look at a cute cat, you gotta wonder, what are they really trying to do? Let's get a news update from Chris Little, and then we'll talk about, you know what, it's that time of year. One of the most heartwarming wintertime stories that we have in our society. We'll get into it when we come back. KFI AM 640, live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Opinion without the freak.
KFI.
And KOST HD2.
Los Angeles, Orange County.
Live everywhere on the iHeartRadio app.
Tough to get tested. I'm Chris Little, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. People have been turned away from COVID-19 testing sites across the country after waiting for hours. Dr. Anthony Fauci admits test kits are in short supply.
We've obviously got to do better. I mean, I think things will improve greatly as we get into January, but that doesn't help us today and tomorrow.
Fauci says the number of positive COVID cases will continue to increase for the next few weeks. News brought to you by Sweet James Bergener. More flights are being canceled at Southern California airports and around the world. It's because of a wave of cancellations continuing to inconvenience travelers. LAX had at least 113 canceled flights today. These people tell KTLA they are anxious about getting to where they're going.
Yesterday it's supposed to be our flight, but it was canceled.
The whole holiday, I was checking, making sure that my flight wasn't canceled, so definitely crossing my fingers and hoping that everything goes smoothly.
Airlines are facing staffing shortages caused by the latest surge in COVID cases. Some airlines are canceling flights because of weather. A 15-year-old from Huntington Beach has graduated from college. Jack Rico got his degree in history from the University of Nevada, Las Vegas. UNLV says Rico is the youngest person to graduate from the school. Award-winning director Jean-Marc Vallée has died. He directed the movies Dallas Buyers Club and Wild, both based on true stories. He won an Emmy for directing the HBO series Big Little Lies, which He also executive produced. Ballet died yesterday in his native Canada. He was 58. Pope Francis is offering his condolences to the family of the late Anglican Archbishop Desmond Tutu, the South African activist who led a movement to end white minority rule in South Africa, passed away yesterday. He was 90 years old. The Pope said the Archbishop was mindful of his service to the gospel, to the promotion of racial equality and reconciliation in his native South Africa. Tutu was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize in 1984 for his efforts to end apartheid. The cost of buying or replacing a U.S. passport is going up by $20 starting today. The cost of buying a first-time adult passport rises to $165 with a replacement now costing $130. The State Department says the new cost is necessary to keep up with the technology needed to make passports secure. Earlier this month, President Biden signed an executive order allowing passports to be renewed online to speed up the process and eliminate the need for paper documents. From the Southern California Toyota Dealers Traffic Center, we make it easy. Let's go up to Jeff Baugh, KFI in the Sky.
You sure do. Good morning, and thank you for letting us ride along with you. That's for sure. But a great report for the 710 now in between the harbor and going up towards East LA, the familiar commerce routes. But everything is good. North and south, everybody is moving right along. Now, an earlier problem that I mentioned, one of our other reports here about East 60 around Garfield, Finley, just had a look at it. It's a little closer to start going up the hill around Panama, but it's over to the shoulders, so don't worry about the eastbound drive. You could have 605, and again, the other way around, you'll be okay. Now, I do want to explain it. Last report, we were in the 110-105 interchange. There was a call from fire department, and of course, some help on an overpass, and we did see the fire department there actually on the 117th Street overpass. That's just south of the interchange. So there is some activity there. Just be careful going through. Injured in an accident, visit superlawyer.com. Jeff on KFI in the Sky.
Dental Air Conditioning is contractor license number 1047-781.
This is Ken Goodrich of Dental Air Conditioning and Plumbing. You've already heard the story of how my dad asked me to hold the flashlight for him at night while he worked on air conditioners. Dad knew he was dying, but I didn't. You know the story. Anyway, one of the things Dad would have me do is replace all the screws the previous repair guys left out when they reassembled the unit. My job was to find every missing screw and replace it with a brand new one. I still do that today, and so do all my guys. When motors are whirling and compressors are compressing and electrical contacts are doing their thing, those non-stop vibrations caused by missing screws will cause your system to die long before it's time. That's why we tied your unit down to factory-fresh condition on every service call. My guys are perfectionists. No squeaks, rattles, or hums. And don't forget our awesome duct tester. Get it. GOE-TCL. It'll keep you cool, but it's hard to spell. Call it.
Living with someone who tested positive for COVID-19 in the past 5 days? Those 18 and over who are not vaccinated may be able to take part in a clinical trial for a possible medication to prevent COVID-19. This trial is not for a vaccine, and participation is voluntary. Participants will receive study-related care at no cost and may receive reimbursement for study-related time and travel. To learn more, visit covidmoveahead.com. That's covidmoveahead.com. Sponsored by Merck.
The KFI Financial Report looks like the Dow is up 205 points, S&P 500 up 44, NASDAQ up 180 points, and the price of a regular gallon of gas in California is $4.66. Still in California weather from KFI, chance of rain this morning and rain this afternoon, highs in the mid to upper 50s, a little cooler in the valleys and in the Inland Empire. Chance of rain tonight, partly cloudy tomorrow, then more rain possible Wednesday and Thursday. Right now, Laguna Beach 45, Tustin 43, it's 44 in Gardena, 43 in West Hollywood. We lead local, live from the KFI 24-hour newsroom. I'm Chris Little. KFI AM 640 live everywhere on the iHeart Radio app. This is the Bill Handel Show. Bill on vacation this week. Some of the top stories that we are following for you. Over 750 flights into, out of, within the United States have been canceled today. And that comes on the heels of thousands of cancellations over the holiday weekend, a lot of it having to do with too many flight crews having to call in sick because of the Omicron variant, and they don't have enough people to staff all those flights. And South Africa's Nobel Peace Prize-winning icon Desmond Tutu has passed away at the age of 90. Well, I did say I had a heartwarming winter story for you. And in this case, this story is literally heartwarming in that it involves, I imagine, people cooking other people's hearts. I'm talking, of course, about the Donner Party. 174 years ago now is when the first rescue crews showed up at Donner Lake and found horror. This poor Donner Party, man. This was 87 men, women, children going into the Sierra Nevada mountains in October of 1846. And we all know it. The shorthand of the Donner Party is the weather got bad and they got stranded and they ran out of supplies, and then some of them ate others of them. That's kind of the thumbnail. Although I don't think they probably ate the thumbnails, but that's the thumbnail of the Donner Party. And they made a big mistake. I mean, one of the reasons it went so poorly is they made a big mistake, which is they decided to take a new shortcut. They were coming west, and at that time there was a brand new shortcut. It was called Hastings Cutoff. What they did to some of their own fellow party members' limbs. And it supposedly would take them through Utah, across the Great Salt Lake. Here's the problem with taking that cutoff. Hastings Cutoff, named for the guy who invented it, Lansford Hastings. He promoted it. Now, I say he invented it. You might say, don't you mean he found it? Well, he promoted this shortcut, but he himself never tried it. He never traveled it. So it was untested. In any event, this big, brutal winter storm comes, blocks the path, traps them near what today is called Donner Lake. Man, oh man, should they not have named it that? And some of the families said, we're going to camp here until maybe the storm passes. Others of them put on these snowshoes they kind of MacGyvered some snowshoes and tried to walk to this place called Sutter's Fort to get some help. And then 8 people died, and most of them got eaten by the other people, and only a handful made it out alive. Then the rescue party finally found these survivors, and oh boy was it gross what they found. So that's what happened. And it's interesting that this is in the news again, because cannibalism right now, I don't know if you you have Showtime, or please don't get mad at me, or you have BitTorrent, but there's a show called Yellow Jacket on Showtime, and it is about, I'll tell you what it's about without trying to spoil too much, because this is all in the first parts of it. It follows a group of high school soccer players who are doing great. Women, it's a girls team, and they're like undefeated, and they're going to the championship and all that. And then their airplane crashes. And one of the things that happens is there's some cannibalism that goes on. And the show cuts back and forth between that and then many years later with all the people who survive in their adult lives, and it starts to come back to haunt them. Somebody is sort of taunting them about, what had happened. It's pretty good. But, I mean, you wouldn't think that shows about cannibalism would be this popular. So in any event, what happened to some of these people who survived the Donner Party. Now, the Donner Party was originally led by George Donner and some guy named James F. Reed, who was the patriarch of the Reed family, and he was leading this expedition for a while, and then he got kicked out. They were in Nevada, and he got kicked out because he got into a fight with somebody else and stabbed him. And then they said, oh, we're not going to put up with that kind of behavior on this trip. You got to get out of here. Little did they know what kind of behavior they would end up putting up with. And the Reed family ended up going to Napa and then settled in San Jose, and they had a fruit farm, and then they got really rich, and eventually James Reed bought 500 acres of land, and some of that he donated to create San Jose State University. And basically the Reed family was very instrumental in the founding of what we now know today as San Jose. I'll tell you about one more group of survivors, the Murphy girls. The Murphy girls were left without a patriarch because, Dad died, and then Mom died, and you had these three girls who were very young when this happened. I think they were like 3, 6, and 8. Now, what do? If you're a young girl and you don't have parents anymore, you get married. And Mary Murphy, one of the surviving girls, she was 13 and she married some guy. And then this is what she wrote. You want to talk about a dark, despairing mindset. She married this guy when she was 13. And then she wrote, and she was still 13 when she wrote this. It was only 3 months after she married the guy. I hope I shall not live long, for I am tired of this troublesome world, and I want to go to my mother. Now, she actually divorced him later, which in those days was unbelievably gutsy for any woman to divorce her husband, but particularly a girl. And then she married some French guy, and the French guy was really rich and apparently fairly decent to her. And you know the town of Marysville? Named after Mary Murphy. This French guy founded Marysville and named it after his wife, which is a little bit sweet. So there is a nice thing to reminisce about. Maybe you're lighting a fire these days. It's kind of chilly here in Southern California. Pour yourself a glass of leftover eggnog, and be happy that you don't have to eat your friends. Let's get a news update from Chris Little, and then, all right.